What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the brand new 2020 Mercedes Benz CLA250. Huge shout out to Mercedes Benz Northlake. They're providing this car for today's video. Definitely check out the link to their website down in the description below. They have such a large selection of all the brand new Mercedes. This one has quite a lot of AMG on it, so let's take a look. The model we're looking at today is finished off in Jupiter Red and has an MSRP of around $44,000. Underneath the hood, this features a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that pumps out 221 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. The engine is paired to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission and sends the power to the front wheels, and with this power plant you can expect to get 0 to 60 in around 6.1 seconds. The overall length is 184.6 inches with a wheelbase at 107.4 inches. This has a width of 72 and a height of 56.7 inches. This features 19-inch AMG wheels in all 4 corners, finished off in a gloss black with a machined lip. We get ventilated and drilled rotors up front with solid discs in the rear, and this is all wrapped in a Bridgestone tire. This is the all-new generation for the Mercedes CLA, looking like a mini version of the CLS. We get a lot of aggressive lines up front, the large Mercedes logo in the upper grille, trim pieces on either side with your integrated parking sensor. You'll also see a cutout for air to go through the bumper and out around the front wheels. This has an aggressive body-colored front splitter, help giving the front end a nice look to it. And as we make our way to the hood, there's bulges in the center as well as sharp lines on either side, really giving the front end of this car a wide appearance. And then moving our way to the side profile of the car, this is considered a coupe by Mercedes. It has that low slung rear end design to it, just like with the CLS. We have gloss black trim surrounding the windows as well as gloss black mirror caps. The body colored door handles help give the side profile a clean look to it. As you can see, the rear end swoops down low very aggressively just to give this a unique look, and we have clean body lines running throughout the side. And then moving our way to the roof, this has a panoramic sunroof, as you can see, with a glass piece up front. Moving to the rear end of the car, the rear taillights are integrated very nicely within the rear bumper as well as the trunk lid, very smooth against the bodywork of the car to give this an awesome look in the rear. We have the dual exhaust finished off with chrome tips as well as the diffuser in the center with little fins. The CLA badge over on the left side, and then the Mercedes logo in the center will actually flip around for your reversing camera. And then finishing up with the overall exterior look at the car, definitely a really sleek profile overall. I love the way this line is, very nice looking. So now with the key fob, we can go ahead and unlock it. The door mirrors automatically fold out. As we open up the door, these are pillarless, just helping give this car a very sporty appearance to it. This interior is very nicely appointed. We have black leather and black Alcantara everywhere with red stitching as the accent. As we start off with the door panel, we have black Alcantara along the armrest, has nice padding to it as well, all your red stitching, aluminum colored accents for your door handle. And then moving up top, we have all your window controls as well as the mirror controls, your release handle, lock and unlock. All of your seating controls are right here with your memory seating, the heated seat button as well. Get some aluminum accents to it with an ambient lighting strip. More red stitching along the top, and then some storage down below as well as the trunk release. Moving our way inside, we have an aluminum door sill with Mercedes Benz. You can get a really good look at the overall seat design, all the red stitching on the bolsters. And then if we pull this handle up, this leg rest comes out for added comfort. And then on the lower side, we have all of your lumbar controls. Moving our way to the steering wheel, finished off in black leather with perforated leather on the sides. And then we get more red accents with the red stitching all throughout it and a flat bottom design. And then now inside the car, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and start it up. Starting with the steering wheel, we have aluminum colored accents to the 3-spoke design, very sporty looking wheel. We have all your controls over on the left side for cruise control down here, and then these menu buttons right here are for the screen in the center. We have a touch sensitive icon right here. We can scroll through the left gauge with a few different items, as well as these center gauges. Swiping over to the right, we can configure what you see in the right gauge with your consumption, the tach, eco information, your navigation. And then swiping over to the left now, we can go to different menus. We have menus on this side as well, which is a really nice feature to it. Hitting the home button will bring you to a main menu screen. We can go through different items. Over on the right side, we have similar buttons. All of your Bluetooth and audio controls are on the bottom, and then these buttons right here will control the screen in the center. I can swipe over to many different items within the system of the car. And then moving behind the steering wheel, we have your paddle shifters. They have a really nice feel to them. They look very nice as well. We have your gear lever over on the right side, and then your turn signal and wiper blades over on the left. To the left of the steering wheel, we have all of your headlight controls, your electronic park and brake. You can control the brightness of the interior gauges with that dial as well. You can get a little bit of a look of the ambient lighting on the door, which has a really cool look to it. One of your air vents right here, which is very easy to configure. We have black leather and red stitching coming its way all along the dash. Really gives this car a very sporty interior appearance. And then as we look at the overall dash, we can see some of the ambient lighting as well. We'll adjust that in just a second. This screen is touchscreen as well, so it's very easy just to swipe through it. Very similar to all the other Mercedes-Benz vehicles. We can go into different items within the car. We can go to your ambient lighting. We'll go ahead and adjust the color. You have many different themes you can go with. You can make it multicolor. Different settings for what you're going to do. You can change the color manually. This is also being able to be controlled by the touchpad down here. We have a nice pad for your wrist, so you can easily use this kind of like a computer mouse. So just swiping through, very easy to use. There is a little bit of haptic feedback, which is very nice. We can change some of the settings within the car for your assistance, all these safety features, your active braking. You can adjust how you'd like that. The attention assist, blind spot. In your vehicle, you have many different things you can configure there. The lighting we already saw. Then with the system, we can control a lot of that. And then if we go into reverse, pulling up on the stock, the backup camera pops up. We have a 3/4 view as well. And when you do turn the steering wheel, everything changes as well, just to give you good guidelines. And then pressing this button on the side puts us back into park. We have your air vents over on the bottom side, and if you do look carefully, there is ambient lighting. All of your climate controls are located down here on these toggle switches. If you click this menu button, it actually comes up on the screen as well. So there is a lot of redundancy in the car. You can use the manual buttons, or if you prefer the touch screen, you can easily adjust things by just tapping the screen, going to your different zones, your fan speed, everything like that, turning recirc on, air conditioning. You can also just use the manual buttons, which is a really cool touch. Dual zone climate control, of course. And then down below all the climate control, we have a wireless phone charging pad as well as extra storage. This piece pops out to keep your phone in place. We have a USB port on the left and then a 12-volt over on the right side. Your cup holders right here, and for larger bottles, you can just press these buttons. Right here is a toggle switch for your drive modes. You can scroll this up and down. It comes up on the dash with all your different modes. We have an eco mode, a comfort mode, which everything goes into the comfort mode as well, and then a sport mode. The car gets a little bit sharper. We have some shortcut keys around this pad as well. Tapping the car icon, all of your settings for the car come up with all the safety settings. Hitting the star icon over on the bottom left, we have favorites that pop up. You can adjust display, owner's manual, stuff like that. And then over on the right side, a shortcut button for your navigation, the radio, and then your telephone. And then we have the on-off as well as the volume for the radio. We have some red stitching along this armrest. Pressing the button right here, it opens up in 2 separate pieces. We have a pretty good amount of space in here. You could easily fit some phones and wallets. We have 2 USB ports. And then with these being 2 pieces, the driver can still have their armrest, while the passenger can easily still get into this. So as we move our way over to the passenger side, the glove box has a lot of space in it, a nice shelf back there with a light. So now we can get a really good look at the overall interior. I really like all the red stitching, has a really good accent to it. Then as we move our way up top, we have the panoramic roof. The sunshade, you just pull this button back, the sunshade will automatically retract. And then when you just press this button up, the sunroof will crack open just to give you some extra airflow. And then pulling the button down, it'll go back down. And then pushing it back down again, the sunshade will retract. Moving our way to the rear seat space of the car, we can go ahead and open up the door. This is a pillarless door just like with the front, just giving it a sporty appearance. We have the same black Alcantara and red stitching everywhere, aluminum accents, very similarly laid out. As we take a look at the interior here, these seats have nice bolsters for the rear seats, just giving it an aggressive look to it. The same red stitching, the same designs, even the single piece headrest, just matching the fronts. Very nice to see something like that. So I have the front seat set to my height, which is 5'11". We'll go ahead and hop on inside. Now this is a smaller car in the Mercedes lineup, and again we have that aggressive roof line to give this that coupe look. So with the door closed now, I'm 5'11". My head is just barely touching the ceiling, so this is a little bit smaller car for the rear seat occupants. Legroom is pretty good. I have a few inches in front of my knee. The driver's seat is set to my current height, and my feet fit nicely underneath the seat. You do have a really good armrest position right there, and then as we take a look at the center, we can put this down for another good armrest. We also have cup holders in the front. So pretty usable rear seat here. You can see the visibility. And then as you just take a quick look at the overall interior for the rear, we do have climate vents back here, some storage right there. And then if we pop open this door, we have some storage as well as 2 more USBs. So as we go ahead and hop on outside, let's take a look at the trunk space. For the trunk space, we have the button on the interior door panel. We can also press the button on the key fob. Trunk opens right up. We have quite a lot of space in this car actually. They did a really good job maximizing the space for a smaller vehicle. Just have all the floor mats in it right now. Pulling this patch up, we do have some extra storage space down below. And then with it down, you do have a little bit of a cubby on each side. And then there's a handle up top. We can just pull both of these and fold down the seats. And with the seats down, you can get a really good look all the way up to the dashboard of the car actually. As we go inside now, these seats do fold down nearly flat. You can get the seat belts out of the way. You still have a lot of space actually in front of the seats with them down like this. This center seat will actually fold down by itself as well, so if you have 4 people in the car, you can still fit longer items in, but definitely a really good use of space for a smaller car. So we are now in the CLA, gonna take it out for a nice drive just to get our bearings with what this car has to offer. I've always liked the Mercedes CLA just because it's a smaller, compact, sporty sedan. It just has a really cool vibe to it. Now, first thing I would say in pretty much every Mercedes car that I drive, the interiors are so nice, especially with this new generation. You get all the nice materials. The steering wheel looks amazing, the climate vents, the dual screens on the dash. Everything is just super premium looking, and for a car under $50,000 with the Mercedes logo on it, you get so much upscale feeling to it. The ambient lighting is cool, the aluminum colored accents everywhere. The touchpad in the center is very easy to use. It's just really cool that Mercedes is bringing all their high-end stuff to the more entry-level price point cars. Now, as far as just normal driving, getting comfortable in this car, this is a more sporty version of something like an A-Class. It's got these sporty seats, the red stitching, all the performance AMG stuff in it just to make it look really cool. It's not a true AMG version of the car, it's just got a lot of the AMG stuff to it. But for normal driving, this is so comfortable and quiet. I don't think you hear any road noise, wind noise, or anything. It is very smooth. The visibility is actually really good as well. Looking over my left shoulder, super easy to see if any cars are there. This car does have the blind spot monitoring, lane keeping, all that kind of technology you can get in this car. Looking over my right shoulder, same thing. Visibility is really good. It's just a nice, comfortable car. I'm in the comfort mode, the driving mode. We also have an eco mode, which will drive very similarly, just be a little bit more conservative with the fuel consumption. But just keeping it in comfort mode, the car is super smooth. The seats are really easy to get into a comfortable position, and it just feels like a nice luxury car that you can daily drive. The commute is going to be so comfortable in this. It's just easy to drive. The transmission shifts super smooth. I don't feel any shifting. This one is a front-wheel drive model, and as of now, I don't notice anything weird about that. It just seems like it drives like a normal car. As we come to a stop, the brakes do a really good job. Very quiet for the engine and exhaust tone. I'll just turn the turn signal off for a second. That's about the only noise you can hear. The actual use of using all the buttons in it is very easy. I like how it's very redundant. You can control the center screen using the buttons on the steering wheel. Very easy to go through everything. You can also use the touchpad down here, or it is touchscreen. You can just do that. And then same with the center gauges. So now, as we get on a nice road, we're gonna go into the sport mode and use the paddle shifters for manual shifting as well. So we got some nice turns to deal with. The steering is noticeably a lot heavier. The suspension hits the bumps a little bit harder as well. So I'm up to 55 just like that. Very easy to accelerate. It has a smaller 4-cylinder turbo engine, but honestly, you know, it packs a good enough punch. I'm not going crazy or anything being a brand new car, but the handling is very sharp. It feels like a sporty car. I like hitting the turns in it. You know, the suspension, there's like no body roll, the brakes. Car really comes to a stop very nicely. I like how the transmission is super quick. It is a dual clutch, so as soon as you hit the paddle, going around a sharp turn like that. So getting onto a small road just to test out a 3-point turn. Again, this is a smaller car, so maneuverability around town and in tight spaces should be pretty good. So as we try out a 3-point turn, the reversing camera is very HD, super good graphics, very wide angle. Mirrors do a good job. And just like that, not even close to hitting any of the gravel. That is a really tight turning radius. Something I like about these smaller cars for around town, just in and out of traffic and parking spaces, this is very maneuverable and just easy to use. I like how, you know, it's a car that would be an amazing daily. You can just use it every day for everything you need. Really nothing crazy about it. So then back onto the nice twisty roads, just in sport mode. The turbo is very responsive. In sport mode, there's not really any turbo lag. You know, just giving it half throttle, it seems to pick up boost very quickly. You're not waiting for the power to happen. So I think for normal driving, even fun driving, this is a car that, you know, it'll do the job. It'll do the daily driving, but when you are on a fun road, this has larger brakes with all the AMG stuff on it. You know, it handles really well. There's no body roll. In sport mode, it's more aggressive than the comfort mode, but the car does a really good job. Turning is very good. It seems really responsive going on another sharp turn. So I think that's about going to wrap up today's video, taking a look at the brand new CLA250. I've always liked the car. I always thought it was a really sporty car. Now driving the newest generation, I love a lot of what the car has to offer. Front wheel drive, even getting around that turn, I don't notice that it's front wheel drive, so they did a really good job with the differential. But driving it, it's definitely a sweet car, and it looks awesome inside and out. The interior, I cannot get over the looks, especially for this price range. That is pretty incredible. But that is going to wrap up the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. Definitely check out Mercedes-Benz Northlake. They provided this car for today's video. They have a huge selection of all the brand new Mercedes, so definitely check them out. But that is it for the video. I'll see you next video.